China's transformation in this last 10 years will prove to be one of the transformatory periods of the world.
Mr. Perry, thank you for taking my interview. During the last decade, what achievements has China made impressed you most?
China's great contribution during this decade period is the emergence to the world of something I've been fortunate to know about perhaps 30 or 40 years, a longer time than most people, is the concept of the scientific method and thinking things through and testing things through. China is probably the first country to be engaged in long-term economic planning and development. I think we all thought that China was involved in planning reform and opening up, and China's contribution during this decade to preparation for the way the world will change in the second half of this century. So China's transformation in this last 10 years will prove to be one of the transformatory periods of the world. I think in the long term, the achievements that will impress us most of the last decade will be those in space. I think going to Mars, and China's not the only country to be doing that, going to the moon, to the other side of the moon, they're all preparations for a much bigger move of mankind into space. It's not just about finding alternative places to go and live, it's about finding more resources, but it's also to better understand the history of the world and how to protect ourselves from the challenges and problems. So China's determination to build out beyond the Earth, I think will be the great achievement of this decade. I think the third thing is the way the Chinese people have managed to stay together through some difficulties, whether they're health ones like COVID or SARS, whether they're economic ones like the size of the harvest or production or foreign markets or whatever. It comes from the only way the countries can be successful, which is they have to put the people at the center of their thinking. If they're thinking about how to improve the life and quality of life for the people of their country, then they will get the right answer.
The Belt and Road Initiative has been proposed for more than 8 years. How do you comment on the achievements it has made?
If transforming the world is an achievement, it's certainly done that. And the Belt and Road has transformed the movement of goods and people across the land. And at the same time, it's changed the price and the time. The price is better, the time is much faster. And when it goes to high speed, it'll be even faster still. In addition to that, within BRI, there's been transformation of countries like Bangladesh and Pakistan, Sri Lanka. Many of these countries have been helped to build new types of infrastructure, new types of resource intensive plants and equipment, new railroads, new highways. All of this helps trade, but it also helps the movement of people and people getting to know each other and each other's cultures and ways, which is very enjoyable for people. And BRI certainly thinks of mankind. It's transnational. It's not thinking of a single country, China. It's thinking of the whole area of the world. It's a world project.
How do you expect Chinese economy in the next decade?
I'm not worried about whether the Chinese GDP grows by 4%, 5%, 6% or 10%. Those are features of the day. They're not features of the long term. What's clear to me is that everything in China is done after a great deal of debate, and then it's done with a great deal of testing. And its economic results are to be seen everywhere. It's a good period for China ahead, because they're the ones that have been thinking most about the period ahead. I'm not worried about the Chinese being too successful and too powerful. China might be more successful and more powerful, but if we're all alert, we've all got our roles to play in the world, and we'll have a more stable and more satisfactory world.